Is that Joe? Yeah, we'll get there. 5:30, we'll call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and an invocation. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in a moment of reflection. Dear God, we are grateful and thankful for this day and the blessings, opportunities, and challenges that come along with it. We pray now for strength and your guidance as we humbly ask that you enable us with our different thoughts and ideas to work together toward a common goal of improving our town and serving the residents of Juno Beach. Help us find it in ourselves to each of us act with grace, honor, and compassion as we take this opportunity to render service to our community. Amen. Do we have additions, deletions, or substitutions to the agenda?
Sir.
No? Okay. Let's begin with the swearing in of our newly elected council member, Dee Dee Halpern.
Just raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Dee Dee Halpern,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
protect, and defend
protect, and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
and that I am duly qualified
and that I am duly qualified
to hold office
to hold office
under the Constitution
under the Constitution
of the state,
of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
perform the duties
perform the duties
of council member,
of council member,
which I am now about to enter.
which I am now about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Picture.
Oh, the pictures. Yeah.
Am I the official photographer?
Elaine, can I have you step one to the left?
No, it's traditional.
Oh, come on.
Family, come on.
Come on.
Yes, come on. Whoever else you want it. Thank you. Okay. All right. Comments from the public.
Yes, Mayor. I received one submitted from Gary Gelman of Juno Beach saying, "I'm sorry I could not be there this evening. I wanted to be there to congratulate and welcome Elaine and Dee Dee. I've known Elaine for well over a decade and I met and chatted with Dee Dee. In my opinion, they are two quality people whom are doing this for right and unselfish reasons. I don't believe they have any hidden agendas and they are in this purely out of love for Juno. I'd also like to thank Stu Katz for his service. He is a kind, honest, and caring person whom also shares a passion for Juno and justice. He stuck his neck out for me and my business, and I believe he's paid a price for it. I want to publicly apologize for this. I hope that I may live peacefully in this town and my family and not have my business or safety be threatened." Nancy Wolf.
last time. Hi, Nancy Wolf, 1613 East Hemingway Drive, Juneau. I would like to take the 2 minutes I'm allotted to share some observations and maybe raise some questions about the future of our town. Thank you in advance for your consideration. This evening, at least 2 new voting members and 1 alternate member will be seated on the town's Planning and Zoning Board. In fact, as many as 5 voting members and 1 alternate could change this evening or any post-election evening of any given year as council's terms are staggered. I urge that the new office holders and returning members consider very carefully the job that lies ahead when guiding future development of the 2 vacant lots to the north and south of Donald Ross Road at the gateway to our town. I recently served on the Town Charter Review Committee, and we unanimously voted 5 amendments to go forward with which council voted to move on. All 5 amendments were on the ballot earlier this month. All 5 amendments passed with 83% of the vote or higher. Why? Because protecting and preserving the rule of law with a dedicated local enforcement team matters. And protecting the 43% of our land mass, which is presently in conservation, matters. And what happens on the US 1 Donald Ross corner matters. It goes to quality of life, town character, and stewardship. And so, as council proceeds with the selection of the planning and zoning members this evening, we hope that council has taken the time to meet with all those who are interested in serving, carefully considering their backgrounds and talents. When seating a board as critical to the ongoing success of our planning and zoning, we need council to balance the board, including having representation from all corners of the town and a varied and deep and wide set of skills among members which complement each other. I urge council to take the time needed to carefully consider the makeup of the entire planning and zoning board and the process, and select from a broad pool of talent as all of our futures rest with them. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Dr. Michael Klarjin on Zoom. Dr. Klarjin, your 2 minutes for public comments starts now. Doctor, you're on mute. No, you're still on mute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Great, happy to hear that. I am Michael R. Canada, founder Juno Beach Ecology Group and member Union of Concerned Scientists, Science for a Healthier Planet and a Safer World. Congratulations to the newly elected council members. Looking forward to continue working with you for the betterment of the quality of life in Juno Beach and the quality of life in its complete ecosystem. In past interventions here, I have presented and discussed the necessity of full transparency and accountability in open government. I have participated and observed closely in the campaigns elections for seat number 2 and number 4. It is fair to say that some important irregularities have occurred for seat number 2 and to a lesser extent for seat 4. And these irregularities must be investigated and corrected to preserve the integrity and legitimacy of Juno Beach Town Council. I request that a full transcript of this public comment be added to the written records of this meeting. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
I received.
Do we have anyone else who would like to make a public comment? All right, there being none, we'll move on to resolution number 2021-04, proclaiming the results of the March 23rd, 2021 municipal election runoff. Town Attorney Rubin.
Yes, Mayor, resolution of the Town Council of Town of Juneau Beach, Florida, proclaiming the results of the March 23rd, 2021 municipal runoff election and providing for an effective date with, of course, Ms. Halpern.
Do we need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2021-04, proclaiming the results of the March 23rd, 2021 municipal election runoff.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Nope. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the council members to select mayor, vice mayor, and vice mayor pro tem. Town Attorney Rubin. I give
Yes,
you-
Mayor. I don't need that official gown, although I like
Okay.
the gown.
You should try it. We want to.
Yes, that's all right. I've banged it before. So this is the procedure we've been following for a number of years. I will open the nominations for the position of mayor. And just as a reminder, nominations do not require a second. You may nominate yourself and you may decline a nomination. So we will open the floor for nominations for the position of mayor.
Make a motion. I nominate Mayor Hasselcorn for mayor.
Mayor Hasselcorn, do you accept
I do.
other nominations? Going once? All right, we'll close nominations. You have the gavel back, Jason. So. I never got it, but.
Okay, do we, so we'll proceed now for the selection of vice mayor. I would nominate Jim Lyons to serve as vice mayor.
I'll second.
I accept.
All right. Any other nominations? Okay. Nominations for vice mayor pro tem.
I'd like to nominate Peggy Wheeler as Vice Mayor Pro Tem.
Peggy, do you accept?
I accept.
Any other nominations? All right. That's, there we go.
Okay.
Congratulations all.
All right, I'll go ahead and read the resolution. A resolution of the Town Council of Town of Juneau Beach, Florida, appointing the mayor, vice mayor, and vice mayor pro tem for the upcoming year and providing for an effective date. Jason Hasselcorn, mayor, Jim Lyons, vice mayor, Peggy Wheeler, vice mayor pro tem. We do need a motion.
Thank you.
All right. Next is resolution number 2021-05, selection of town officers. Town Attorney Rubin.
Yeah, no, I just read it. Sorry. I was ahead of you, Mayor.
Okay.
So we're ready for a motion if you're ready for a
Make a
motion.
motion to approve and adopt resolution 2021-05.
Do we have a second?
Second. I second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? There being none, motion passes. Next item is the consent agenda. Do we have a motion with respect to the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. Next is the selection of planning and zoning board members. And all right, in place of Frank, it looks like we have Kurt.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Hasselcorn and town council members. With the appointment of the planning board members, requires the council to make their appointments soon after the new council has been established. It has now been established. So the town council member, each member will be asked to suggest an appointment person, to appoint a person to serve on the board. Each suggested appointee will be voted on by the entire council. Lastly, any council member can nominate or suggest an alternate for the alternate board member. Since we now have the alternate, current board member alternate is now council member Halpern, that position is very definitely vacant now. And so the entire council can also respond, will also respond by a corresponding vote. So each member can make a nomination of someone, discuss it, and then you all vote, and it'll be the same process for the alternate board member. Attorney Rubin is here to answer any questions, as well as myself. And of course, the town manager is here as well. And thank you.
Do we have any?
Oh, and if I may say, congratulations to everyone.
Thank you, Kurt.
All right. Do we have any questions for Kurt or for Town Attorney Rubin? If not, I'll get us started. I would like to nominate Mike Stern to continue on as my appointee to the P and Z board. Any concerns, any issues? Okay. Jim?
I want to nominate Dr. Paul Shea. Dr. Shea and his lovely wife Kathy have lived in Juno Beach for 8 years. He's been on a planning and zoning board for 6. He's the vice chairman of the planning and zoning board.
Okay. Any comments, concerns, anything? All right. If there's none, Peggy?
I'm going to just speak just a little bit before I do my nomination. I think in a lot of the council meetings, I've talked about being in favor of the application process for the planning and zoning board. I think that our current board members would probably have the experience to hold those seats, but I think it's beneficial and would allow citizens the opportunity to come in, especially with the alternate position, to be able to apply, and then they could be looked at from an application and we can get strong candidates. So what I'd love to do is I'd like to bring this up at the next workshop and see if we can discuss it a little bit. And, you know, whether it's the entire board or just the alternate, but maybe think about it a little bit, because I'm sure there's other individuals out there that would love to maybe look at starting as an alternate also. So just if we could put that on the agenda. I would like to renominate Jim Ferguson. I think Jim has been an asset to the Planning and Zoning Board. He quickly grasped the issues, the understanding of the zoning codes, and the questions that need to be asked to be effective. So I think his commentary, and again, the questions that he asked during the process is important, and I'm proud to have him as a Planning and Zoning Board member.
Okay. And coming back to your initial comment, you mentioned putting it on the agenda. You're referring to
I'm
the
sorry,
agenda.
workshop, doing it as a
The
workshop.
agenda for the
item.
workshop.
Yeah, excuse
Okay.
me.
Is everybody in favor of doing that? Anybody? We're
I
good?
agree.
All right. Elaine?
I would like to nominate for the Planning and Zoning, Mr. John Callaghan. He has served on Juno Beach Town Council for almost a decade. He's an engineer at Seacoast, reviewing, approving plans for water and sewer improvements. He's a project manager for various Florida subdivisions, land development projects. I think his experience and is more than qualified. So that would be my nomination.
Okay. Any commentary or?
Excellent choice.
I think it's an excellent choice. I really do.
All right. Dee Dee.
Hi, so I would like to appoint Mr. Hank Compton. He's one of my Apollo Drive neighbors, and Hank is here in our hallway. So you have a handout with some background on him. He and his wife and beautiful little daughter have lived here for several years. Hank is interested in becoming more involved. His background is he's currently employed by Grand Bank Yachts, an international company traded on the Singapore Stock Exchange. He's lived internationally. He has some very strong perspective. He cares about Juno Beach, and I'd like to hopefully welcome Hank Compton to our Planning and Zoning Board. You can wave, Hank. So.
Okay. And nominations for the alternate seat.
I'd like to nominate for the alternate seat, Mr. Bruce Franson. Mr. Franson has lived in Juno Beach for 6 years. Bruce is a military veteran. He served in the Air Force. Bruce has a bachelor's and master's degree in education. He taught for 10 years. Then he did a career change to computers. Bruce retired from a computer software company in 2015. Bruce has served on the Juno Beach Civic Association's Board of Directors. Bruce currently serves on the board for the Juno Beach Land Advisory Committee.
Any other nominations for the alternate seat? Dee Dee?
Yeah, I have one. I had also reached out to Bruce, but he turned me down. So Jim, you have some magic I didn't have. So anyway, in the interim, I had reached out to Dr. Max Poliak. He's Director of Rehabilitation and attending veterinarian at the Loggerhead Marine Life Center. Max had picked up a candidate packet at the start of the election season, although obviously he didn't follow through with that. He's still interested in being involved with the town. He's originally from coastal San Diego, and he mentioned that he's seen many similarities between Solana Beach, where he came from, and Juno Beach, similar small community. So I'd like to nominate Max as an alternate.
Okay, so I guess we've got two nominees. Any additional nominees?
I think I would like to nominate Diana Davis. I think Diana ran a really good campaign. I think she worked hard at it. And I know she has an interest, and she has said to me she has an interest. She's the spokesperson for the Juno Beach Ecology Group. She does a lot with the Pelican Lake vegetation and native planting. She championed to improve the health and beauty. She's done a major overhaul of the conservation policies from the town's comprehensive development plan. So I'd like to add her name to the group. Also, Nancy Wolf has expressed an interest, and Nancy was with the town. I know she was nominated by the town council to serve as one of 5 charter review committee members. She worked through the process and personally authored and proposed 3 of the 5 amendments, which we had on our election this last election, and that were passed, as she said, by 83% of the vote. She also has today the Wolf Group. She's founder and managing partner of the Wolf Group, provides management and consulting and human capital management expertise to nonprofit corporations. She's on the Greenwich Point Conservancy, Daughters of the American Revolution. She's a board member of Putin Hill chapter of the DR in Greenwich. She's also on the Maritime Center, Juno Beach, Florida. She was selected from a large candidate pool there. And I'd like to add Nancy's name also.
Okay, so Town Attorney Rubin,
Logistically.
with 4 nominees, what's the best way to proceed?
I think the best way to proceed might be to have each council member vote for one person. And if nobody has the 3, then we'll take the top 2 vote getters and we'll sort of cull it down that way.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Is a council member allowed to propose 2 nominees? I've never seen that before.
I don't think there's anything that prohibits it. I think the code just says that the alternate will be selected by the entirety of the council. So
I didn't know that rule, if it was a rule.
I believe it is fine, but I will check just to make sure. Yeah, one alternate member may be nominated by any member of the town council and should be appointed by vote of the town council. Doesn't really limit it to 1.
Is it possible, Len, for us to do the ranking as we have done before, where we rank 1, 2, 3?
Well, you
4,
can do it that
5?
way too.
I mean,
sure.
that's kind of an interesting way to
We
go
don't
about
have
it.
like ballots prepared or anything.
But we could just on a piece of paper, if we all have it on the back.
If you
of
all had a
something.
piece of paper and you want to rank, you'd have to sign your name to that piece of paper. And if that's collectively how the council wishes to do it, the person with the highest amount, or it depends on how you look at it, but it'd be the lowest amount, really.
Is that the way council would like to
So
do
we
it?
have
or-
1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 nominees, right?
4 nominees, yes.
Okay, Ms. Wolf. What's Max's last name? I missed that.
Yak.
Okay,
Polyak.
thank you. Polyak, Diana Davis, Bruce Franson. Okay. So if you want to rank them, I'll tabulate them. If you want me to, or Caitlin could do it.
It's
Is
first,
it
which
ranking
way?
1 to 10, 1 to 5?
No, just 1 to 4.
1 to
There's only
4.
4, Jim. 1 through 4. And if whoever has the most, we'll just assign point values 1, 2, 3, 4, and then whoever has the highest point. And if there's a tie, then we'll vote between those 2 people.
Whoever has the highest number.
Well, it'll be the lowest, really.
Yeah,
Your first selection should be number one. And
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4 with your first
So,
selection,
Matt-
1.
Yeah, so just we've got Bruce Franson was nominated, Max Poliak was nominated, Nancy Wolf was nominated, and Diana Davis was nominated.
yes.
Yeah, please sign your sheets because we have to retain them.
Jim, put your name because no one can understand your name.
I
did. There you go.
Thank you.
One more time, we had Max, Frank, Diana.
Franson
Thank you. I'm sorry.
and Nancy Wolf.
Five.
It's exciting.
Right, this is exciting, right?
I love doing this. I do.
Oh, but that's his last name. So sorry.
Jim, was your first choice 1 or your first choice was 4?
Sorry?
Was your first choice, it was,
Does
we're
this
going to
make
rank them 1
sense?
through 4 with your first choice number 1.
Oh, I have to sign.
4 is number 1.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
You said no one gets the most votes.
No, but we're just going to rank them 1 through 4, but I understand what you did. So we're good.
We're ranking them 1 through 4.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
rank
they're
'em one-
listed in the
One being
order
the-
of
I'll interpret Jim's,
nomination.
but rank them 1 through 4.
I did it backwards.
Golf, Jim.
Because I saw your nominee and I was like, wait a second.
May I request that possibly the one that gets the vote, we only name that name. We don't go through
Yeah,
the
no,
rest of the
that's-
list.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think that, thank you.
I wasn't planning on doing that.
Okay. Oh, goodness.
I got it, Joe. Thank you. Yeah.
Suspense is killing. me.
Yes, I know.
Mr. Franson, is that the correct pronunciation?
Yes.
Mr. Franson is the alternate. Yep, just want to check my math.
You want me to check it?
Nope, it's good.
Okay.
Bruce Franson.
It's right there.
Okay, we'll, next on the agenda is the review of organizations for council participation.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the list of organizations that council members currently participate in, either virtually or in person. Last year, around at the July 22nd Town Council meeting, Vice Mayor Lyons had filled in for the former Vice Mayor Pro Tem's position at the North Palm Beach Cultural Alliance Organization. Does council wish to go through and discuss each organization one by one on who the primary and the alternate members will be? Or how does council wish to proceed?
What's the preference? We've got 2 new council members and they've had, I imagine everybody's had a chance to review the spreadsheet.
Maybe I could offer a suggestion. I don't
Go
know, Jason and Jim, if you wanted to keep what you have, because you guys, are you happy with the
General, yep, no problem.
with the organizations? I know that between Stuart and I, we had a pretty, we had quite a few of them. So and I think it's always nice for new board members to be able to participate because you do learn so much in these meetings. And it's nice to participate. So my thought is, and I don't know if either one of you had looked at that enough to say, okay, I definitely want to do this one or that one, and you can please put that in. But currently I would be happy to take the Business Development Board over in place of Stewart's. I have the Landmarks Advisory is separate, the Loggerhead Marine Life Center, the Palm Beach League of Cities meetings. If I know the sustainability might be something, Dee Dee, I don't know between the two of you what you're thinking, but that goes hand in hand with the economic development. So they do every other meeting. One would be a sustainability and one would be an economic development meeting. So, if one of the two of you are interested in that, that would be great. And also Stuart was lead on the government affairs. That was the other one. So I don't know if you want to
I
discuss.
would like to do the government affairs.
And I would take sustainability.
And the economic development then.
I could do that.
Yeah,
yes.
they're the same meeting. It's just every other month okay, great.
Sure.
And
Thank you.
that at least gives us all a little
Good.
something to be able to attend, and it's,
Can I just clarify? Sorry, for the government affairs, who would be the primary? Would it be, okay, so you would be the primary. And then on the economic, Dee Dee would be the alternate?
I could be the alternate on the economic development.
Okay, so
Sure.
thank you.
For the BDB, do you want me to be the alternate? Is there an alternate? There is an alternate. Do you want me to be the alternate?
For which one, Elaine?
The BDB?
Business Development Board.
Sure.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
And Peggy, I'll give you landmarks.
Oh, well, we're going to talk about that,
Oh,
though,
okay.
correct? Because I have an idea for that.
Okay, but I don't mind.
Yes,
because-
All right,
Yeah, okay.
let's.
Yeah. We need to discuss it because I have an idea. So
Okay, sure.
moving forward.
All right, so we've got our, the alternate for the Business Development Board. We've got our, we've got our primaries. Anything missing there, Caitlin, that you need covered?
The Forum Club. I
For the
think
Forum
The Forum
Club,
wasn't mentioned.
we have, Dr. Katz was the primary and you were the alternate mayor.
I
Are we
would-
still proceeding with that organization or?
I would be interested in being an alternate if that's
So
an
I can
option.
move up, I'll move up to primary and it sounds like Dee Dee would take over as alternate.
And yeah. It's interesting about that particular one because I love going to that also. And I know that that's the one that an individual has to sign up, Joe, I think. Because every time I checked into it, I was also going to sign up as an individual. I think it's like $350 to do that. So any of us could actually sign up. I don't know if there's an alternate on that particular one. And when I spoke to Mr. Oyer, it was kind of interesting. You have to be a member. You can't have the town as the member.
No.
You have to have an individual.
No, they have application requirements that they
Right.
actually go through a review process. So for instance, if you wanted to attend one of those, you would be a guest, which there's a guest fee that's separate from the member fee. But there is a process to go through that.
And it also guarantees you a ticket. It's all based on the speakers. They're $40 a month or $40 for each speaker. So that person who's a member is guaranteed a seat at that speaker series. If it was the town, they wouldn't know how many.
Correct.
So, but they do have extra tickets on some of these speakers, so we can offer it, which we do, if anybody wants to attend with the mayor. You can sit at different tables. It's like 500 people there.
And how does it work if the alternate's going to attend, since it's some sort of an individual?
If they have available tickets, you just pay the $40 and you can just sit, not at the same spot. It's just a speaker series, but basically they bring a speaker in and they just speak on whatever they're speaking on.
So if the tickets were available, anybody could attend.
Correct.
And then if you wanted to be a member on your own. you could
That's how
pay-
it was years ago. I don't know how it is right now. Is that correct? Did you ever get
Yeah, you
offered
can-
extra
if-
tickets?
No, we don't get offered extra tickets. It's if there's a ticket available, you sign up to register for it.
Well, you're guaranteed a ticket if you're the
If-
member. Right, but the way, when I was a member years and years ago, it was if you had extra tickets, they would notify the member and say, we have extra tickets for this person.
No, I never received those
You never seen something like,
notifications.
maybe that has changed.
But you can also be guaranteed a ticket if you pay the $350 personally. So if any one of us wanted to do that, we could also do that,
That's correct.
just so you
If
know.
they
But
accept.
they don't like take alternates. They take a guest and then you can
That's why I
sign up
was
as a
wondering. That's
guest.
why I asked.
Each ticket-
Exactly, it's a guess. It's just buy an extra ticket.
Right, each ticket is still a fee, and then you have a guest
Yes.
ticket that's also a little higher fee for.
It's like $40 a ticket, I believe, something like that.
So the primary is the mayor, the alternates, Peggy? Is that what we're doing?
It's however you wish.
I think what we have to discuss is any of us could be a guest, but it's $40. So is that something that if all of us wanted to be guests, do we pay on our own? I mean, I don't know if it's right to charge the town necessarily for being a guest for all of us. Or I'm probably going to sign up as a member, so I'll be fine. I'll just pay the money and become a member.
Joe, has anybody been a guest in the town council?
Yes,
I have.
Yeah, that's what,
We've had one.
Yeah.
yeah, and when Gail or I was a member, we used to bring other people too. So this was years ago. It might have changed. We're talking many years ago, but you were a guest, right?
Right. I've done it.
So, but if you want a seat, you have to go through the application process like Caitlin explained.
Caitlin, was it $40 or 15? It just seems like
$15
it was
if it's
15 for the
virtual.
member.
It's
15 virtual.
if it's
Okay.
virtual, if it's
Yes.
I believe it's $40 when there's an actual meal,
Okay.
Do we have to pick an alternate? Can't we just, depending on who it
virtual
is,
meal.
someone go?
Virtual meals.
It's up to the
Don't like
council.
those.
Yeah, we could all
So-
go if we wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Any of
think
us.
that's a good point.
I don't
It's,
think so.
it's not really an alternate. It's,
Right. It's a
okay,
guest.
it's just a,
Right, because the alternate wouldn't have submitted the application.
We
to
could
be-
just put the whole council as the alternate, and then if there's seating
solves the
available, we'll
problem.
send out an email like,
Yeah.
Makes
and
sense.
that'll be and if you get any correspondence yourself, Mayor, because you'll be the primary, let us know.
just forward it to Caitlin.
Just forward it to Caitlin and she'll forward it to see if anybody else wants to go.
Good, okay. All right, I know Peggy and Dee Dee, you were going to discuss the Landmarks Advisory Committee.
I did have a quick clarification if I
go
could.
ahead.
Is Dee Dee now going to be the primary member for the sustainability? And Wheeler, you're going to be the alternate?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. And the remaining are going to remain status quo at this time?
Yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
The Economic Forum that has Dr. Katz as the alternate, who would like to be the alternate of that organization, or if it's
The-
one.
The Economic Development Board, I was
The
leading.
Economic
He was,
Forum.
The
Economic
Economic
Forum.
Forum.
You really can't have an alternate on the economic
It
forum.
runs it's similar to the forum.
Mhm.
club.
Right, and it's actually frowned upon in that organization. So I would actually say not applicable.
Okay,
Yeah, so this way it's forever that way. If they don't like guests.
I think she, it's Rebel Cook, and she's very,
Pay your membership or get out.
you get to, you get to try it twice. And after that, they will
Twice?
find you. Yeah, she can be tough about it. Actually, she sends her husband out to be tough about it, but she will find you. Any others you needed clarification on, Caitlin?
just the landmarks.
yeah, what are the Florida League of Cities? I was lead on that. And I know, Jason, I think that has your name on it, but I think Stuart was my backup. So I'll continue to do that. But do we,
The
Need-
monthly luncheons?
the monthly
Yeah,
luncheons?
you're the lead. So-
Right.
Okay. It's the middle of the first page.
Second page. Palm Beach County League of Cities.
Palm Beach
Monthly
County.
meetings.
Monthly meetings and workshops?
Yeah, so,
That's the mayor.
Are you-
It's you and the mayor, right?
yeah, it was Stuart and your name's on there, but is that okay? Jason, for that to stay like that, or do you want to?
Where are we? Just
The middle
monthly
of the
luncheon
second
meetings?
page.
Middle of the
page
second
two.
page.
Yes, monthly meetings and
one down.
workshops, Palm Beach County League of Cities.
you need a later load, I'll be happy to take it. Oh, I'm fresh.
Yeah, that's, I mean, does anybody else want to fill in as an alternate for that?
I'd be happy to. Or any one of us.
Jim, Elaine, you work it out.
You want to do it?
Only if you don't, I mean, I would like to, but if you can
That's
do
fine.
it,
No, go ahead.
are you sure?
Absolutely.
And that organization rotates from all the cities. They host the luncheon. Obviously now it's all virtual, but when we start up again, it'll rotate from all the cities and we'll let you know if Peggy's not available and we'll tell you.
And it's usually on the same day as the council meetings at noon.
Yes, it is.
And
always the
they have
fourth
you
Wednesday.
let them know you're there. So you have to say Juno Beach, Councilmember Elaine, yes.
For your primary, I'm second.
Yes, and we'll let you know.
Please speak a little closer to the microphone.
Me or Elaine? Both of us?
Thank you.
I-
Yeah,
I do the
thank
same
you.
thing.
gotta get used to this.
I forget this.
My husband never complains that I'm too quiet.
Okay. All right. So the Landmarks Advisory Committee, Peggy?
Okay, so I did talk to Joe a little bit about this, and is there a problem, Len, with both? I would assume there's a problem.
No, it's not a legal issue because theoretically, it's an advisory committee. It is a sunshine law meeting, means it is advertised, minutes are taken. If we are going to have two council members on that committee, it's unusual to have two council members on an advisory committee because an advisory committee provides recommendation to the council. You already have two council members on that committee. You know, how advisory is it? But it's from a legal perspective, it's not prohibited. We'd have to advertise it, but I suggested that if you both remained on the committee, then the notice should actually state that two council members are members of the committee and will be in attendance. So it's not a legal issue. It's more of it's unusual for an advisory committee to have more than one council member on it.
So from a council perspective, I'd love to stay on that together. I mean, Dee Dee, you offer so much from a marketing and, marketing standpoint and your background and your experience. And, I've enjoyed being on it. So if it's okay with council, we could both do it, or we could do every other one, perhaps if we needed to, or we could decide who should go. But if it's okay for us both to go.
If it's okay for us to both attend.
Well, yeah, I told Dee Dee
Okay,
it's
great.
there's, because we were talking about it when I met with her. It's perfectly fine if Dee Dee wants to attend.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a voting member of the committee because it's a public meeting. Anyone can attend. It's no different than you all attending planning and zoning. It's
So
just
let's
another
say,
advisory committee.
My actions or activities have been, proofreading, editing, providing feedback. I can still participate in that regard. Okay, then
I
we
mean, you
can,
can still go and you can still participate. And as I said, there's something that
it's
legally prohibits you both from being members. It's just unusual, but
okay.
it's not
Then
legally
we can do
prohibited.
that. Thank you.
If the rest of the council's okay with it. If the majority of the council's okay with that, then
Yeah.
we'll just make sure that the notice is, specifically note that two council members will be in attendance.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Anything else on the organizations?
No, thank you.
No, but I just wanted to make sure that was a consensus for both of them to
Yeah.
proceed.
Yes.
Thank
Everyone
you.
was okay with okay, that's fine. We'll just make sure that it's noticed.
All right. Next item is the discussion on dates, items, and facilitator services for the upcoming goal planning workshop. Caitlin?
Thank you, Mayor. In preparation for this year's goal planning workshop, staff wants to ask council how we wish to proceed with the facilitator services. Does council want to select one of the listed options on the memorandum or have staff go out for an informal bid and provide a recommendation at the April town council meeting?
I'd like to add somebody for consideration. I think he submitted a resume or bio. He's he heads up a department at Flagler College. He's Professor or Dr. Joseph Saviak. He spoke at our civic association about 3 years ago for, I think it was the annual is their July meeting, the breakfast. And this is the type of work that he does. He does it statewide in terms of what are best practices for municipalities. And anyhow, I just encourage everybody to take a look at his bio. I thought Tom Bradford did a good job last year. I thought Ralph Perea has always done a good job. But I would, if we're, I think we were looking last year to not necessarily move away from Ralph. It was just, what we were looking for, how could it be different? I thought Tom Bradford did a good job. It was a little bit different given COVID, but this gives us one other option. And I would just, again, encourage everybody to take a look at his bio, his resume, his background.
Are we going to vote on these now or?
I think we're going to give the staff direction, and maybe the staff could vet our options and come back to us with a recommendation at the April meeting.
Jim, do you have any comments? I was, I'd love to look at the Dr. Saviak. Is that
Yes.
correct? I'd like to, entertain that idea. I did think that Tom Bradford did a great job last time. I was happy with the organization that we had with it and also with the flow of the meeting. I think we ended up with a lot of additional items on the agenda that we were able to put in there. So I would love to look at either one of those from my perspective.
And I'll just weigh in on that. I had observed that meeting and I liked the way Tom conducted the meeting as well. I thought it was extremely productive and he has good local knowledge. So I thought that was useful, his perspectives and the way he organized the time. But so from an observer point of view, I thought Tom did a great job.
Okay.
Tom did a great job. My question is he available?
Do we check any availability of any of these? No,
I haven't reached out. Staff wanted to know how council wished to proceed with.
So
we did not check.
I would ask staff to check on the availability. Let's find out who's available, and please take a look at the other resume, sort of
Yeah.
vet this for us and come back with a, recommendation or at least confirmation that folks are available and what the pricing would be.
I would suggest I come back with pricing and availability, but a recommendation would be tough.
Okay. Pricing and availability, we'll start there.
Are the dates, those good
In
for
our-
council to bring up to the facilitator services that are provided in the memo?
In our packet, you'll have the resumes of all four individuals.
I can ask, sure.
Good.
Do we want to narrow it down at all at this meeting?
That would be good.
What's
Easier.
the Dale Sugarman background? What's that's one that it may have come up last year when we were looking, but
Dr. Silverman has been a city manager for as long as I'm alive, probably. He's well-known in the county, well-known in the country as he's a good person. I know him very well. Anything you want to add?
Is he a city manager now?
I think he's
No.
retired.
No, he was.
Barney Breezy, Barney
Assist-
Breeze.
He's mouse. He was an assistant in Boynton. He was manager in Lake Park, and he was manager in Highland Beach. I believe that's his.
In this county, but he's
This
been-
county.
He's
I
been,
don't know.
like I said, he's got a big, long resume.
it's four people.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's just see who's available. Is everybody looking at the May 11th, 12th, and 17th? Can everybody just check their calendars and see if all of those dates work or how we want to?
I'm good for all of them, so it doesn't matter to me.
I'm good with all of them as well.
I prefer the 11th or the 12th, but we can make the 17th work.
I am good with the 11th. If that works for everybody. May 11th?
She said she's not right.
No, she said 11th or this.
11th and
Prefers-
12th works, yeah.
She'd prefer the 11th, right, Elaine? And you're
11th
good,
or
Dee Dee?
12th, yeah, fine, yeah.
Oh, you prefer the 12th?
No,
Either.
11th or
11th.
12th, I'm fine with, either
Okay.
one. Either one I'm fine with.
You're
I'm
good?
fine with all of them.
Okay,
11th, if that works for everyone else. Does that work for you?
Preference for the 11th, but
Preference
think
for the
we've got-
11th and option for number 2, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock?
Preferably 3 for me.
yeah, these sometimes, I know in the past, they've run till 8, 9 o'clock. So let's go with 3 o'clock.
Perfect.
Okay, good, thanks.
Anything else you need?
No, I just want to confirm that the consensus is to have staff reach out for resumes and quotes from the facilitators that are listed on the memo, as well as Mr. Sabiak, and to ask if they are available on the 11th, preferably at 3 p.m. or the 12th or the 17th.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
I would think about your items because you are cutting it a little close because we're going to decide on this on April 28th.
Okay.
That's our next meeting.
What do you mean, our items that we want on the
I
goal
would
setting?
start thinking about
Oh,
your
yeah.
items.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, like, be ready.
All right. So that started us off with comments from the town manager.
That's already commented.
Well, I don't have much because we met last week. I just want to maybe go over something without looking at my paperwork. I'm starting to, staff is starting to discuss how we're going to open up. It's going to be a very delicate and baby steps on how we're handling. We want to open up very safely with COVID. But just want to let you know, we are discussing it. We're going to make some moves, but it's going to be very slow and measured. I also reached out to the Civic Association and said I was open to having the 4th of July breakfast somehow. Maybe, obviously, we're not going to have 200 people in this room. But if we can be creative and have it outside, I'm open to that. And they were very happy to hear me say that. So I just want to let you know, we're moving in that direction. We're talking about how to do it safely. And it's not going to be like it wasn't last January, just like that. But we're going to slowly open things up. So if anybody has any comments, but we'll keep you in the loop.
Okay.
So for the town-sponsored events like the June picnic, that's a no-go?
The picnic, we've been discussing that. That's a no-go because logistically it was very hard. But maybe June we'll have a coffee with the cob. We'll start with things like that. But mayor's hours, maybe we'll start things. And the picnic, I like the picnic. We all like the picnic because you can just put a plate there. They won't go do a line and say, I want 2 bacon, 2 blueberry muffins, whatever. It's just going to be a plate. You go sit at your table. Probably won't be a speaker as what was. But we'll still have a parade maybe. So there's things you can do and cannot do. Just want to let you know, we're going to do baby steps, but there's a lot of things like people in a car, paperwork. I mean, there's so many things, the library hours, there's so many things we're discussing on opening up.
What about the library? Because I've gotten residents have asked me about the library and
That's going to be quickly. We're going to start, right now, the rule is 1 person every 15 minutes.
10.
I'm sorry?
10.
10.
I'm sorry?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Woo. I thought you said 10 minutes, 10 people every 15 minutes. So we're going to definitely increase those numbers.
You allow multiple people in the library?
Yes,
Oh,
multiple
okay.
people in the library and for longer periods of time. Most of our residents, thank God, are vaccinated. There's probably more than 80% of our residents are vaccinated. And obviously I like to wait 1 month after their second dose if they got 2 doses, unless they got J&J. So we're getting close. So if anybody has any input, I'd love to hear it, but just letting you know, staff is discussing this on a weekly basis. That's it.
That's it. Comments from the town attorney,
No, sir.
comments from staff, comments from the council.
Hi. So let's see where to begin. Dogs on the beach. A resident sent an email to me today and she also copied Elaine, which I'll forward to Caitlin. I haven't responded, but I wanted to bring up the dogs on the beach question because I've seen a lot of dogs on the beach lately. I think a lot of people come in seasonally and bring dogs and don't realize that they're not allowed on the beach here. I was going to ask Len if we have an ordinance or anything
We do.
that specifically says that, but in this woman's email, She says that she approached the person with the dog and mentioned that they're not allowed on the beach. And she said that somebody at one of the hotels told her she is allowed to have a dog. And so there's a lot of misinformation. And of course, Jupiter does allow dogs. So I think people don't really
Well, I
get
think,
the
right.
distinction. And perhaps we can put something on the website or make something publicly known, send out an email blast, just as a reminder, especially because it's turtle nesting season now, and dogs would have a tendency to maybe want to dig at those turtle nests, to just remind people that there are no dogs allowed on the beach here, and give them the marker numbers so that they know that they're in Juneau.
Right, and I think
important.
that's the confusion because, north of the pier, it's a dogorama. My dog loves it there, but so they're so close, people don't get the distinction between Juneau Beach and Jupiter.
So could we do something to facilitate a better understanding of the areas and what's allowed and what's
I
not?
believe we
allowed?
have adequate signing, but I think it's a good idea to send an email out as a
Yeah.
reminder, so we'll do that.
She attached a photo of one of the signs, I think it's at the Donald Ross intersection beach, and it just said no animals allowed. So, I mean, I don't know if you need a picture of a dog or ferret or what it is, but I
The
don't
best
know.
thing is to call the town. When you see it happen, sometimes it's a misunderstanding. Most of the times it's a misunderstanding. We go out there and we
Yeah.
explain it, and that person usually doesn't do it again. So I would just recommend to everybody to call the town or call the police department.
I think I received an email from
Did
that woman as well. It sounds like the same
Maybe the
issue.
same thing.
Yeah, so I explained to her in detail that we get a lot of calls for dogs on the beach. The one downside to it is that service dogs, there's nothing you can do about it. There's one question you can ask them, what service does your dog provide? They usually say medical, and then we're done. And that's becoming very popular these days that people are saying that. So
Oh.
I don't think the people calling us are very happy, but there's not much.
And
we
they
can
don't
do
need to
about it.
provide documentation that it's a service animal, or
They do not.
it doesn't have to wear
No.
a vest or something.
It just has to perform a service, and then you can't, as the chief
Wow.
said, get specifically into the service because then you're getting into medical issues.
Can't ask for proof, cannot do that.
Okay,
But I did explain that to
Okay.
the person who emailed me and tell them, please call us, because she said she didn't call us because she was on the move. So I said, please call us. The least we can do is come down and check it out and make sure that everything is, the way it's supposed to be. And
is it possible to put out a flyer or something to the condos and, further publicize for visitors
maybe
you
an
know, who
email
might-
blast.
who might be coming here with their dogs and not realize it and have no way to?
I like the email blast, and we're going to put in there how you're supposed to handle it, because you're not supposed to handle it by approaching that person. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to call us and let us handle it, the professionals. So, because you never know what that state of mind that person is in, and I think let's start off with an email blast and
Okay.
say how to handle it.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
Another thing, coming from a planning and zoning perspective, it was really valuable to me to have continuing education or training, because I didn't come from a planning and zoning background. I guess it was about 2 or 3 years ago, I had gone to a course, a Florida planning, I don't have the name of it, but I'd really love to see our new and seasoned P and Z people take a similar course. Maybe it's virtual now. And if Frank and Kurt could look into that, some kind of continuing education training as a primer, I found it hugely helpful. So I'd love to see that be available.
Thank you.
Joe, a follow-up to Dee Dee's. I heard that Florida League of Cities is going to have the conference this year. Is that?
Yeah, it's supposed to be in person in August.
And Dee Dee, with that conference, they do have for new attendees, for new council people, they do have a seminar.
But she's talking PNC
For
members.
She's talking
P&Z
about land.
specifically.
PNC members. There's not much out there
Oh,
for,
okay.
there's not much out there for
Well, that
PNC
too.
members. And Frank did find something when you could meet, but maybe it is virtual now. I'll have to
Yeah,
check.
they might have an online
Yeah.
training.
But there's not much out there for PNC members, but we will check.
Okay, Elaine?
Thanks.
Just want to welcome Dee Dee.
Thanks, Elaine.
Okay. Peggy?
Yeah, it's great to have a full council. Welcome, Dee Dee. We're looking forward to working with both of Elaine and Dee Dee. I want to ditto the education of the planning and zoning members. Someone like John, who comes from a civil engineer background, right? Yeah, you know a lot. A lot of them do know a lot, and from the experience that some of them have been on, but it is such a wealth of information to even go through our books and understand our codes, and doing that on your own is very, very helpful too. And that's how I learned so much about our, zoning and codes and everything. I'm happy that our town is going to start back up. I was looking forward to that, even if it's at a slower pace. I also want to say it's really an honor to be selected as Vice Mayor Pro Tem, so thank you, and to be able to sit in Frank Fahey's seat and to hold the position that he last had. So thank you.
Jim?
I do want to welcome the new council members. I look forward to serving with all of you this year. It'll be nice. We're not going to have any tie votes, so that's positive. And I look forward to working with all of you this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll echo that. Being surrounded by intelligent, strong-willed women is exactly how I feel when I walk in the door at home. And it's now how I feel when I walk in the door here in Town Center. And so welcome. And we're looking forward to the year to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, we can get our photos after.
I would love
That's-
that.
it's
Can we-
still, the
okay.
light's
So
not.
we're adjourned.
Great. Thank you all.
It's a great time of day for photos.
Yeah. You okay with that, Caitlin? Okay. Thank you all for coming. Congratulations.
Yeah, we-